Good evening. Saturday night. It is officially May the 1st, Saturday night. I'm your girl, Finance Muslima. I am your licensed life insurance agent and the states of Pennsylvania, North Carolina, Connecticut, Georgia, New Jersey. I'm your life insurance agent. I'm your financial coach. I'm all things mindset and money. I'm an author, speaker, um, talking about credit tonight. Thank you guys for tuning in. I always tell you guys I want to start off. It's evening. I'm usually in the morning, but it's evening. I still want to tell you guys first and foremost, before anything, is our prayers, our affirmations, and then figuring out how it can be an impact in somebody else's life. In that order, prayers, God first. Affirmation, speaking into yourself, focusing on your own mental and self care. And then, thirdly, how can I help somebody else? That's how we starting. Whether it's morning or night, that's how we starting. We are heading into the last 10 days of Ramadan. It's been a lot. Hasn't been, this month, these last couple of weeks, like, I can't complain. It's been what it's been. We've been making the best of it. It is what it is. Even if I could complain, I'm not going to complain. I wouldn't want to be anywhere else in the world but here with you guys. If you're on the private Facebook group, drop a heart in the chat because we're going to show each other some love. Show me some love. Drop me some love. I'll drop you some love back. If you're on IG, drop me a heart. I'll drop you some hearts back. We're going to show some love in some form of another of how we can, because, baby, we need it. We are talking credit tonight. Oh, and also, too, guys, if you're on the email list, I put in the email list that I'm picking 2 people to win a prize tonight. So I don't know how I'm gonna do it. I want to figure out. I want to see how this flow go. I want to just throw it in there. Wait until more people are online rolling with us, and I'm going to throw it out there. I'm giving out 2. So what I'm doing is I'm going to pick 2 people for credit repair services. I am waiving their monthly fees, but I'm not waiving the sign-on fees to the program. So you have to pay the fee to sign on to the program, but you'll never pay me a monthly recurring fee, and we're going to fix your credit for you. Boom! Tell a friend, because I'm giving out 2 tonight. I'll drop some more of it as we get some more people to tune in. If you're on Facebook, if you're on IG, drop me a heart. Let's show each other some love. I'm going to drop some hearts and show you some guys some love back, because this thing is about interaction. We're real people. Let's talk to each other. Get to know each other. You guys come hang out with me all the time. I thank you for that, because and why do you come hang out with me? Because I'm a viable player. You come hang out with me because I drop a lot of things that help you. I have a lot of things that help you. We talk about a lot of real topics over here. I'm always transparent, and you guys are always feeling the topics that I talk about. We talk about this money and mindset thing. You guys are always like, girl, that was right on time. If you follow me on Facebook earlier today, I'm going to read you guys what I put on Facebook earlier today. What I put on Facebook today. Emotions will have you in situations that you know ain't good for you. Then 3 years, 3 years later, you look up and you become used to settling with what you knew wasn't and still isn't good for you. Now you want more, and it's too late. I'm gonna read that again. This is a deep one, And then I'm going to tell you guys something. Emotions will have you in situations that you know ain't good for you. Then 3 years later, you look up, you've become used to settling with what you knew wasn't and still isn't good for you. Now you want more, and it's too late. That's usually how it goes. And it's so very true, guys. Like, it's just true. Like, I was just reflecting on a situation, and I just wanted to drop some things that was in my heart, on my mind. We've all been in that situation in some form of another, not just necessarily having to be about a man. Even if you're a girl, you've had that, even with other women, like, because people come into our lives for different reasons. Whether a girl is to befriend you business wise, she tries to, or whether she tries to be a friend genuinely, wholeheartedly, and things just happen, and life just, people just start to get exposed over time, and it happens like that. And some girl says, "Damn, if you didn't post this when I needed it the most, thank you." LaShonda Smith. Listen, you guys run away from or shy away from the real because you be afraid of what other people are going to say. I don't care what other people are going to think. I just randomly put that out there. Like, I'm a human being, I'm a woman. Yeah, we go through stuff. We don't talk about as much as the real online as we should because we're so afraid of nobody else is doing it. I like to. It don't bother me. So I randomly spoke on something or shared it with the universe, something that was on my mind. And then boom, it helped somebody else because she was like, wow, she must have had her own personal situation. And it made her reflect or whatever the case may be. So you just never know. So I'm saying that to encourage you guys before I jump into my lesson of credit for tonight. I'm saying that because I want to encourage you guys to be comfortable in being you. Be comfortable in what you bring to the table. I don't care if you sell shirts off the trunk of your car. I sold cake off the trunk of my car. Do it with a smile on your face. Treat people kind. Do it with, be a person of, have integrity. Like, have some type of, stand for something. You know what I mean? Like, I don't care what you do. Like, I don't care if you're a cable guy, if you put TVs on people's walls, like, if you're the best DJ ever in the world, like, just do what you do and do it wholeheartedly and passionately, because guess what? You are giving courage to other people that know they have as much talent, or they have this thing that they love to do, or they want to find something they love to do too. And you will be giving them so much courage to do it just by watching you do it, and they would think that you have it all together, and you really don't. And I know, because I am a person that just stepped out on faith, right? And I personally know that there's so much people that I give so much motivation and inspiration to, whether they say it or whether it's shown or not. I know it, and we all do that in some form or another. So I want to encourage you guys to just be comfortable and just love on you. Just really, don't downplay yourself. We all bring something different to the table. Be happy with who you are. Be happy with where you are in your life, whether good, bad, or indifferent. You may think that you're doing really bad, but listen, people are still out here going through it. It's hard and it's crazy and it's rough out here. Not even just money wise, in all aspects, People are going through stuff. I'm going through stuff. Everybody are going through stuff. People's stuff is just different. Yeah, everybody's stuff is just different. So just own yours. Um, just be more, like, happy with who you are, what you bring to the world, because we all do it in some shape or form, and it don't have to be like everybody else. So I just wanted to give you guys that piece of encouragement for tonight. But so the night before last, we went over, we've been talking about credit, right? So if you haven't subscribed to the email list, go to www.faithfamilyfinance.co, www.faithfamilyfinance.co. And before I jump into, I have one other thing. Shout out to the three young ladies who purchased their business finance one-on-one tonight, that I shot out through email. They got that discounted price of that bundle. Shout out to them because there's some really good stuff in there. And I'm super excited about it because I'm always like coming up with new content and different ways to help you guys. So it's showing that it's really helping you, and that makes me happy. So shout out to them. And I know they want to do some great things with it. I'm going to stay connected, and we're going to find out what they're doing with this stuff. And if you don't know, I recently started Cullen and Credit LLC, and it's just an add-on to the financial services, all of the finance things that I have going on. The credit piece is an add-on that we should have been done a long time ago, but I'm digging in, talking about the credit more. May is the month if we want to talk a lot about mental health in this month of May. We want to talk a lot about mental health in this month of May. May is going to be the month that I focus on credit a lot. I do themes per month. Last month was April was Financial Literacy Month. I focused on the bundle, what I had with the financial planner, and some other things I threw in there. The month of May, I want to focus on credit. And when I say focus on credit, and me having various different topics set up to talk to you guys about, when I come on live, we're going to be talking about different things every time, because there's a lot of things about credit that we need to talk about and that you guys need to know. So that's the reason that I added the credit piece onto it. Like I said, this is May 2021. Good evening. Hey, beautiful. May 2021. Like I said, today start May. My theme for May, I'm focusing on the mental health. Definitely mental health, the month of May. I'm the mindset and money girl. So yes, definitely. I have a lot of personal things that's connected to that. So that's why I'm always talking about mindset too. And then also the month of May, the theme is going to be credit. I'm not okay. Well, I'm not going to say I'm not a credit professional. I'm going to like to call myself like as the credit coach, right? Because by me being a finance coach, this is a hand in hand thing. You know what I mean? That we're going to be doing. This is not exchange of services. We don't talk to you. This is a coach type situation, right? As you're getting your life changed and helping you, get your goals together. You definitely want to be teaching you games so that you can do it longevity wise on your own. Once you get once you walk away from Cullen and Credit, you will be able to do these things yourself. And it's a lot more to the game than just like, I need to get my credit cleaned. I want to get a repair. I want to buy a house. I want to get the G-Wagon, the Maserati, all of this, right? Is way deeper than that. And if you can be coachable and learn to master the basics of the finance game, you'll forever have clean credit and have a higher credit score. So the other night, I went over 1 through 10. I went over things that people don't tell you about credit, right? So typically, when you join a credit repair program, you pay them for their services. They work on your credit. They stay in contact with you, whatever the case may be. They get things removed. The focus is to increase your score. So sometimes, they don't go over things with you, or you don't learn a lot of things on the way. Small itty bitty things that if you utilize and done yourself, it will be a game changer, and you learn how to do it yourself. So my job for the month of May and what I'm going to do is continuously give you guys a bunch of tips of things that you can do yourself, and it's so easy. You have to stay connected to your own process, even while paying somebody to do the services. So 2 nights ago, I went over 1 through 10. I'm not going to recap of 1 through 10. If you're on the email list, I sent them out. Again, if you're not on the email list, go to the website, sign up for the emails, and I don't know, we might can get it back out to you. But stay connected, and we'll have a lot more coming out. So tonight, I'm going to do 11 through 20. We're going to do 10 more things. This is part two of things that's not talked about with credit, or things that, you know, it may not be shared. Your credit professional might not have told you it. You might not have learned it. You may not want to learn it, but I know it's a lot of people that do. You want to learn game so that you continuously can be able to hold yourself afloat. So the first thing is, so I'm going to do 11 through 20. So we did 1 through 10 already. So for tonight, I don't know who this is, guys. Let me dismiss this. Okay. Number one thing that you're not always told about credit: you can still get a loan with bad credit. Yes, you can get a mortgage with a bare minimum score. What is it, like 620 or something like that? Or I think they're like giving hard loans at 580 or something like that. A realtor will sit down with you and help you get a mortgage with a bad credit score. Yes, they will, because they want to close. They want to close and they want the commissions. Yes, you still can get a loan or even finance a vehicle with a bad score. But of course, you're going to have high interest rates. You're going to be paying way more in interest than you are on a principal. So it's a lot of things to keep in factor. But yes, you can, and somebody will allow you to sign for that loan with bad credit. Your credit score isn't the only deciding factor when you go sit with a lender. So if you might have, I'm going to elaborate on it. So say you have a credit score of 700, right? Let's say you got a 700 credit score. You're like, yeah, I got my score up. I got a 700. I'm lit. Yeah, I can finally go get that new car I want. Da da da. I can go buy a house. And then you go sit with the lender. They're looking for various different things, not just the credit score. What, the last 3 5 years, like, what does your credit history look like? The lenders are going to look at your income. Can you afford this $300,000 mortgage, 30-year fix that you're trying to get? They're going to look at stuff that's on your report. Not real in detail, but it's specific things that they look for. So you may have 20 charge-offs, or whatever the case may be. You may be a person that added a bunch of trade lines but didn't really do a thorough cleaning of the report. So yeah, you got your score up, but you still may need some cleaning that you need to do of the report. Because when you go sit with the lender, they're not just like, oh, you got a 700 score, let's give her this $300,000 mortgage and she lit. No, they can deny you maybe off income. They are not, totally deny, but they may say, hey, well, we don't think you can afford a $300,000 house, but you might can afford a $200,000 house, right? With this money you have every month, giving her a $300,000 house, it may be too risky, because if she fall into default, she don't really have nothing else to fall back on, especially if you're just going to the table solely based off a job income, which is fine. But, because if you go to the table with business income, that's a whole nother ballgame. If you don't play the game on the back end, and if your back end not tight in your tax papers and your numbers, then you ain't going to the table with just business income. Most people go with the job income. Let's be real. Because you're going to take pay stubs and that's it. So when you go sit with a lender, they're going to factor in more than just the credit score when approving you for, whatever it is you're trying to get. Your credit report. Your credit report, doing a full a full view and actually sitting and going through your credit report, you can actually find fraud on your credit report. You know, people have found fraud on a credit report. People have found inaccurate things on their credit report. And a lot of times we don't know that those things is on it because we don't look at it once a year like we're supposed to. I didn't know how to thoroughly read a credit report until I learned these things, right? So now when I go over a credit report, I know certain things to look for, addresses, dates when these things was taken out, red flags, you know, date of birth, different stuff like that. It's certain when you know how to read a credit report, you will know how to spot out different things. You know your client, you know what's going, you know their address, where they work, you know all of these things. You can spot out fraud and inaccurate things on a credit report. You could dispute those and get that stuff off of there ASAP because it's incorrect and it's fraud. But if you never don't know how to read your credit report, and if you don't know how to, if you've never personally pulled your credit report and actually took the time to try to learn or read over it, then you're not going to never know that it's on there. And maybe a person that's doing credit repair for you, they may be the professional that you're paying, but maybe they don't notice those things as well. So everybody that you go to for services and pay for services may not know fully of what they're doing. You have to ask questions, but how can you ask the question to know if they know how to read a report when you don't even know that that's part of the process? So that's why it's super important that even though you want to pay people for their services, you don't have the time or all these things, which is fine, but at least try to get a little bit of knowledge and education on the game because people can get over on you. And then number four, when you have a joint accounts can affect the score, but you don't have joint scores. So having a joint account, if this is husband and wife, wherever the case may be, if you have a joint account, it can affect you, but it's not going to affect the score. It's not going to. You don't have a joint score per se. So if you guys will still each have separate scores. And then number five, the same thing we just talked about. Many credit reports have inaccurate information. If you're not pulling a credit report as you should, you're not going to know that if the information is wrong or even what they have on it. You know, some people have poor data. I have never personally experienced fraud on my credit report. Everything that was on my credit report, unfortunately, was all of my doings, right? So I know it was. But some people have. I haven't had experience any clients that have experienced fraud personally, but I know of some, and I know the things to look for, and I know people who their clients have experienced it, and what those things were. And I know one of my friends that does credit repair, one of her clients, the fraud issue that came up, which a lot of people it do, is somebody trying to apply for a car in somebody else's name. So it'll be like, like a finance company, a car lot, or something like that. People have done it and tried to get cars and stuff in other people's names. And that's the story that I have of it. I've never personally experienced it. I wish some of my stuff on my credit report was fraud, right? When I had all of this stuff on there. But anyways, you might have some fraud on yours too. You got to check it out. If you don't know how to check it out, then you need to send me a message, send me a DM, text the word credit to 704-396-3496. Send me a DM and let's get you a free credit analysis and go over your credit report, get you a consultation, and see what you personally need to do. Another thing that people don't tell you either, max, this is the thing that you should not do. You should not max out your credit cards every month. You want to buy a new Gucci purse, your credit limit is $1,000, the bag is $800, you maxed out the card for the month. I see it being done, and that's the reason I use that example. I don't do it, but I see it being done. You got a credit card for $1,000 limit. The bag is 800. You went and bought it. You're way over the 30% usage limit. You maxed the card out that month, and then you're like, oh, I'm going to pay it back. I'll pay them back. You're not going to pay them $800 back in one walk. You're going to pay them some money every other week as you get paid, or every week you get paid. And meanwhile, as the weeks go along, you still keeping, that red flag, that high usage on your card. Don't max out your credit card every month. If the bag is $800 and you need to use you have a credit card for $1,000 limit. The bag is 800. If you can't afford to put at least 500-600 to it and do 300 on your card, I guess if it's that serious for you, then you can't afford it. Then if you can't afford it, then that means don't buy it. You don't need it. So do not max out your credit cards every month. Going over that usage and just spending way too much on it, it just shows irresponsibleness, whether you're paying it back or not. Some people do it in a need of emergency. I've known people that have needed it for emergency, like their homeowners, washers and dryers have went out. Like they don't have finance cars, they own their car. Like engines have went out, like things have happened, and people use their credit card. If that was the case and I didn't have no money, I would use mine too and do what I had to do. Or another thing is what I always talk about. That's why you're supposed to have some money saved in the bank where you can go dip in and not rely on the credit cards. And so people will say, well, what are the credit cards for? I'm supposed to rely on them. Yeah, but things can get so expensive. If you only got $1,000 limit and you're spending so much on it, you're defeating the purpose of trying to build your credit because you're using it in a way that you're not responsibly, if that makes sense. Now, if you have a $10,000 limit and you need 2,000 for something, go get a washer and dryer, cool. But if you got $1,000 limit and you got to go get a washer and that's the whole $1,000, come on, guys, you got to level yourself up. Get a higher credit limit if that's the case. Save, have more money in the tuck so that you can get these things when need be. And then another thing too, being a which is a not this is a not a good is not a good thing. Being a co-signer for someone else can mess you up. Being a co-signer for someone else can mess you up. How many of you have gotten a phone call from a family member or maybe a friend, like, oh, I'm in a situation, da da da, or you already know they in a situation, and they trying to get a car or something like that, and they randomly call you from the dealership, like, well, the guy, he need to speak to you, or you already know what it's about, right? Don't put nobody out there like that on Front Street. I would never do that to nobody. I promise you, I would drive a rented car before I had to call somebody and ask them to co-sign for me a car. That's just me. That's just how, like, because I wouldn't want nobody to call me and ask me that, right? I wouldn't want nobody to do that. Like, don't do to other people what you wouldn't want done to you and what you're not going to do for other people. Like, that's just real. Like, just don't do that. Being a co-signer for somebody, they can mess up your whole stuff, like your whole crap, SHIT. Like, I've heard so many crazy stories about people co-signing for other people. They done messed up their whole life. Messed up their whole life bad, like how I messed up my whole credit life, right? You would thought somebody else did it, but that's how bad it was. But listen, don't sign for nobody. Don't be a co-signer for nobody. That's irresponsible. I'm not doing it for nobody, period. But you have people that's just like co-sign for people, like credit ain't everything. Nowadays, credit is everything. You can't afford to be co-signing on nobody, especially if they ain't got no job, they're not responsible. They don't even have their own house, but they want to go and get a car, and they want these $500-600 a month payments and all this stuff. Already living check to check, you already know their struggles of what they're going through. So you doing that, you're just putting yourself in a situation. Learn how to say no. And some people say that checking your credit score can hurt you. Checking your own personal credit score does not hurt your score. Now, if you go to a car dealership, you sit with a lender, or you sit with a realtor, and they like, pulling your credit, trying to see where you at, or they can help you, get on a process to buy your dream home, or whether you want to go sit with them and trying to invest a property. That's is different than when you pour your own personal credit score, it doesn't hurt you. So don't let people tell you that. If you have somebody, so say for instance, you may have just pulled your credit and you know you need to go sit with a realtor, you want to go, do a deal, take care of your business. Maybe you can bring that report with you and she'll see the date on it, 2, 3 days ago, last week. Let's say they might use it or they might want to do it themselves, which they probably will want to do it themselves. But if you know that that time is coming up for you to go sit with a realtor or a lender, they just don't pull it. Let them pull it and just go ahead and take the hit because you have to get take care of your business. There's no other way around it. If you pour your own personal credit score, it's not a problem. And then some people, number nine, some people think that your income affects your credit score. It does not. Income has nothing to do with your credit. I don't know where that came from, but no. And then number 10, what we talked about earlier, number 10, the last one, having an 800 credit score doesn't mean that you're fully qualified. Having an 800 credit score doesn't mean that you're fully qualified. Because again, like I said earlier, you could have the 800 credit score, but you may have a lot of things on a report. Maybe you have a lot of inquiries. Like you may have a lot of people, you might have been applying for a lot of things. And on your report is messing you up. So various different things can mess you up. Okay. Just because you don't have the 800 score, just because you have the 800 score don't mean that you're completely fine, because that's not true. If you want to know the hacks of what not to have, or if you need some clean, you have a good score and you just need some cleaning on the back end to get some things off, holla at us. Send us a DM, text the word credit to 704-396-3496. You can text the word credit to 704-396-3496. If you watch this video, um, I am giving out two free credit services. So you will be responsible for paying your on-board fee, but you will not be paying any monthly recurring fees that our clients pay. What's it? And I told you guys, and I'm always tell you guys, and I'm gonna continue to say this, the thing that the huge thing that differentiates Lucretia Thomas, your girl Finance Muslima, me, what differentiates me from other credit professionals is the fact that I've been in the finance industry. I've been teaching the basics of finance and saving, debt management, building wealth through life insurance. I've been teaching how to profit and flip business money. I've been teaching all of these finance things. I have results of my clients' testimonies. Like I have clients that really out here putting work in through strategies that I teach them, right? So working with me as being a financial coach and working with me on the credit side as well, it goes hand in hand, because you're going to get me as your financial coach to help you master those basic things, so that while we're working on your score, while we get you in your dream home, while we get you the brand new car you want, while we get you to lease the building that you want, while we're helping you to go sign and get those vending machines, while we're helping you get your company started or increase that line of credit, you're also going to be working with a finance coach that's going to help you continue that financial mindset path that you need to stay on, so that you can stay on top of your game when it comes to money and credit. Boom. If you you want free credit repair or the two spots that we have available, text the word credit 704-396-3496. Text the word credit 704-396-3496. And don't forget, tell a friend that needs help with credit repair. Tell a friend that needs some financial help as well. And also let your friends know about the Mindset and Money Game Planner. My sales has been really, really, really dope in Charlotte, North Carolina this month. That's where the majority of the Money Game Planners has been. Charlotte, North Carolina this month. Thank you guys. I love you. I've been here with you guys for 8 years. It don't seem like it, but shout out to Charlotte, North Carolina, because that's where the bulk of my sales went through, like for the month of April per se. We're in another month now. I'll focus on different stuff this month. If you're interested in the freebies credit, text the word credit to 704-396-3496. If you're not on the email list and you're missing out on all the great things, I highly suggest you go to the website www.faithfamilyfinance.co and subscribe so you can stay locked in with your girl. It's Saturday night. It is 10 p.m. I'm going to get my life. As promised, I wanted to come through and talk to you guys, though. And on a serious note, the month of May, we're going really super strong. So you guys are going to see me a lot. I'm going to be talking about a lot of money and credit, and that's just the way it's going to be. Set your notifications. Make sure you stay in tune. I want to help you guys out. If you purchase any products from me, email me some testimonies. Let me know what's going on. Let me know how these things have been helping you. And don't forget to stay connected so you can be on the next live. Thank you, guys.